Good morning. Almost ready to go to the RTR. It is 9ish. It is so difficult to get up in the morning because it is so cold. It is not that bad actually. These mornings it has been on the 35, 36, 37. So it is very doable, but it's just when you are very warm inside of your bed, getting out of it, it's not that easy. During the day, fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful day, and it gets a little too hot. Yesterday, we had the showing of the small rigs, and there was a point when I had to get in and stay in because my brain was fried. I am kind of an introvert, so after talking with so many people, I was exhausted. But the sun really was hot. So it was a funny day. Lua had eaten, I guess, some pebbles. I don't know what happened with her, but her tummy was not happy. So it was a process trying to get her to feel better. But we are learning each other and we are getting there. I want to show you what Bob Wells said yesterday. He's welcoming of the whole tribe of nomads that gather here in Quartzsite every January. I really liked his greeting. It was very nice. He told the story of how the RTR started, and I'm sorry I couldn't be in front of him because there were a lot of people. I didn't want to block their vision, so we are going to see him from the side, but I am sure you're going to like it. He's such a kind spirit. So I don't know. We are going to see that right now.
Wonderful. How many people, this is your very first time at the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous? That's awesome. I would say that's more than half, 3/4 almost, new folks out here. Well, welcome. My name is JP Smith. I am the chairperson for the 2024 Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. I'm leading a group of amazing volunteers that have worked tirelessly over the last 6 or 7 months to put this together. We had our first meeting this year, I think in May, and have met almost weekly since then to get this put together for you. And the RTR is about education for those of you who are new to the road. It's about community. We want you to make friends out here, meet new people, find people to camp with, and it's about fun. We've got several new activities that we'll discuss here in a little while that are newer to the RTR in the last few years to make this just a fun place to come and spend the next 5 days with us. So again, my name's JP Smith. I'll be around. If you got any questions, come find me or one of the amazing leads or volunteers that work to put this on. But we wouldn't be here if it weren't for these two people sitting to my right. We have the founder of the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, Bob Wells himself, and Sue Ann Carlson, the executive director of the Homes on Wheels Alliance. And I'm going to turn it over to them in just a moment, but what I want you to know is that the RTR started with just Bob and 20 friends camping, and it grew to be more than what we do out here this week. So the Homes on Wheels Alliance is now responsible for putting on the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, and although this is the most visible thing we do during during the year, the Homes on Wheels Alliance does lots of things throughout the rest of the year, and Sue Ann will touch on that. But know that the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous may end on Friday, but the mission of Howa and Bob's original vision for the RTR continues for the rest of the year. And we want you all to be a part of that and help us out. Make a donation to help fund the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, to help fund the other programs that we do, but also just get involved. And again, Sue Ann will talk some about that. So without further ado, I give you Bob Wells and Sue Ann Carlson. I think I got it.
Do you have to eat these mics? Just close. Okay. A lot of these mics you got to get right up on them. Is that okay right there? Good. Everyone closer? Yeah, you got to eat it. Okay. So hi everyone. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. I just appreciate that you're here and then you came. Boy, this one's really touchy. Thank you so much. I hope you get all that you hope for and more. I believe that's been the general situation as we've done this over the years, that people have gotten all they hoped for and more. Of course, we're no longer gathering in camping together, and that was an awful lot of what we did, but we're working to make that happen again. We just aren't sure how it can. One of the goals I've always had for the RTR that it be free. There's never been a charge. No one's ever paid a penny to come to the RTR, and that's the intention going into the future. However, that means we can't camp together because the BLM made it nearly impossible for us to camp on the land, and renting is very expensive, and we'd have to pass along the expense. So, but I think this is wonderful. You can still make friends. I hope you found each other and are camping close. That's so important. That's such an integral part of what we're doing here. Let me give you a brief history of, well, a kind of brief, as brief as I can be, history of the RTR. I hit the road, well, I'll go all the way back. In 1995, I started living in my van. I lived in it until 2001. And then I moved into a house and hated every second of living in that house. In 2008, I finally broke free of that house and went on the road again. And I've been living in some kind of vehicle, usually vans, now an ambulance, since. Well, in 2005, I thought there were so many people that needed to hear what I had found. And you know, I was working, I retired from work in 2006, and I was a clerk in a grocery store. No special background to me at all. I'd done it all my life, so I retired with a pension. I was a union clerk. And I knew the guys that I worked with, the guys and gals, it was probably half and half, none of them loved their lives. They just went to work because they had to make money, and they had to feed their family, and so they gladly did those things because those are such honorable things. But it wasn't a life they would have chosen if they'd had any other choice, I think. I think that's true for most of us. It's good and honorable to go to work, pay taxes, feed your family, and so we do it. We're glad to do it. But I think there's more to life than that. I hope there's more to life than that. And so I wanted to get the word out that you could live in your van. I love living in my van, and so I wanted people to hear about it. I joined a group called Yahoo Groups. Now this was way back in early 2000s, and the internet was in its infancy, and so that was the big methods of communications. Yahoo was the giant then, before Google, before anyone else. AOL.com and Yahoo, those were the two giants. And so they offered, anybody could start a website, and they had free software that you could use, and it was drag and drop essentially. And so I started a website called Cheap RV Living, and I started that in 2005. Well, when I went on the road down in the States, I would live in Alaska all my life. When I went on the road in the States in 2008, the first thing I did was went to a Yahoo group gathering. They had started doing little gatherings, but just like we're doing here, except on a tiny scale. My first one was in Ohio in 2007, and we're about a dozen of us. And in 2008, when I hit the road, left the house for the last time, thank God, and I hope to never go back, I went from there directly to another Yahoo group gathering. So I really believed in gatherings, that tend to be individualistic people, that we want to be alone a lot. I know well, let's do a raise of hand. How many of you would call yourself an introvert? A lot, a whole lot. How many would call yourself an extrovert? Less. Yeah, the introverts win in the van community, it seems to me. I was an introvert. I am an introvert. This is something I've had to grow into over the decades now. And so in 2005, I started the website. 2008, I went to this, we had that gathering in Ohio. And in 2010, I thought, well, we can have a gathering. And so just a bunch of friends and I gathered in Pahrump, Nevada. I became a Pahrump, Nevada resident. And so there were 13 of us that gathered. And Sue Ann, of course, was there. And someone else that's very important to this story, I'll introduce her in just a second. And so it was great. Wasn't it great?
It was the person that he's going to introduce in a minute. Her and I were just reminiscing. It was life-changing. It was more than great. It was set the course for the rest of my life.
It honestly, it was. And there were just 13 of us. We became friends. Most of us are tight friends to this day. So it occurred to me then, I had the website in 2008 when the economy went south. We went into the Great Recession. The website exploded. So in 2008, 2009, you lost your job. You had nowhere to live. You went to the website, to the internet, and said, how do I live on no money budget? How do I live on a very low budget? And my website, that's what it did. And so it exploded. I had a lot of hits and contacts and a lot of emails from people who were desperate. I lost my job. I moved in with my sister or my brother, my in-laws. They've lost their job. They're losing their house. We're all going to be homeless. It was a dark, dark time, as I'm sure many of you remember all too well. So I knew that we needed to do more, and the website exploded, and I knew that if I could make a gathering out of this, the website had enough hits and followers that if I put an announcement on there, we're gathering together, come and join us. That was the first thought of the RTR. Talk to everyone in there. Can we do this, do you think? Could I do this? And we all thought, yeah, this can't be any big deal. We just all go gather. So I put out the word on my website, Cheap RV Living, and headed towards Quartzsite, because Quartzsite was oriented, as you well know now, oriented towards RVers and made it really simple. So that was the first one in 2011. We had 45 people. I drove down, I was in Pahrump, I drove down to Quartzsite. I had no idea what I was going to do. Absolutely no idea. No idea where to do it, to how to do it, nothing. It was a shot in the dark. But I'd been to this other gathering in Ohio and another one in Arizona, so I had a little bit of we're all just going to get together. So I did that, and I got here in early of 2010, in January of 2010, and I needed to pick a location, and so I ran into a friend. Might as well just stay standing. Yeah, sure. Do we have a mic live? Okay, good. And this is Sherry, everyone. Give Sherry a big round of applause. And she came to the first, a bunch of us, there were 13 of us there in Pahrump. And when I got down here, she was here, and she knew Quartzsite better than I did. And so I asked her to help me, because I'm not good at new things. I know that's hard to believe, but I don't do new things unless I have a group of people around me to help me, and Sherry was the one that was here then. So I went up to, she suggested Dome Rock, and we started in Dome Rock. I'm taking way too long to tell you this. Yeah, we don't have the we went up to Dome Rock, and we looked around there, and the first two RTRs were there. There were 45 people there. I've been doing it the longest, and so I started offering classes, and so we offered classes. We've offered those classes ever since. And this is Sherry. Sherry was there, and it was actually Sherry and I at the first RTR that drove around and said, let's do it here. So I'm so glad to see you here.
I am really happy to be here. I've been the first one, I'm here again. This is an awesome lifestyle.
And you're still in Hulk?
I am still in Hulk.
The same van?
The end of 2009, I bought a big high-top van, and I bought a couple of desks at a thrift store, bungee corded them to the wall. When I got down here, Bob attached them to the floor of my van, and they're still in there.
We did a good job.
We did a good job.
Thanks, Sherry. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I owe a lot to you for that. I didn't have much confidence, and if I'm doing something with someone else, that bolsters my confidence.
It's always easier when you've got more
Always.
than one. Yeah,
A group always helps.
And the group has just grown so big.
Big, big, big.
Big,
well,
big.
10,000 in 2019, but 2019.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how we got started, and then you came in. Were you there the first year?
At the art show, yeah.
Yep. And so you came, and I knew you. We'd met up there at the year before, and so I'll turn it over to you now to you.
Oh, okay.
And as with everything in life, yes, you do meet a lot of people during the RTR days and after that. Some people are really forgettable. I had a bad experience with one person, very selfish, very sad. But then there are so many great people, so you just have to, I know I have to put on my shield to protect myself from the selfish ones and have a shield that is easy to open, so I am open and receptive with all of those who are so kind. I will tell you more about those ones who are the real ones we should care about. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Share the video with someone you know may want to become a nomad, so they start getting to know some of our faces. And thank you. Subscribe to the channel. See you soon.